listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
What's up? Hope you're all well, and thanks for checking out my Straight to Video podcast. So this episode is dropping a few hours later than normal because my head is currently in a totally different time zone right now, as I just got back from holiday last night. So pushing through some of that horrid jet lag, but we're here and doing it, and it's a great chat which I've got for you. On today's show, I speak with one of this country's finest power pop songwriters, Marc Valentine. Many will know Marc as the lead singer for The Last Great Dreamers, but he's now out on his own with an ever-growing catalogue of tunes that tick all the boxes for fans of bands like Fountains of Wayne, The Wannadies, Red Cross, Imperial Drag, with some added Tom Petty flavour for good measure. Marc is really busy right now. When we spoke just a couple of weeks ago, he had just released the single Strange Weather from his upcoming album Basement Sparks, which is out on the 22nd of March through Wicked Cool Records. But just today, he's dropped another new song, Tyrannical Rex, from the album as well. What was pretty cool was being away in the USA this past week, doing a bit of a road trip from Mississippi to Kentucky, and whilst listening to the Underground Garage radio show, Marc's music popped up a couple of times, which was amazing to hear, and especially as he's going to be heading over to the US pretty soon for some East Coast dates. It's all happening for him right now, and it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. As always, this Straight to Video podcast is proudly presented to you in association with Affinity Photo, an incredible piece of photo editing software, which I use all the time for graphic design. Affinity Photo is used to create the podcast episode art what you see each week, and it's an extremely affordable alternative to other programs out there. So please, if you can, check them out at affinity.serif.com. Alright, let's dive in. To keep up to date with everything Marc is up to right now, and there's a lot going off with new music, live dates here in the UK and abroad, then find him on Facebook. Marc is spelled with a C and not a K, and you can head on over to marcvalentine.co.uk. But right now, please enjoy my Straight to Video chat with Marc Valentine. How are we doing, mate?
Hello, how are you?
Got a special guest.
Yeah, that's why I'm late. He's just been peeing everywhere.
Who's this?
This is Bandit. He's more camera shy than I am.
How old is he? He's fantastic.
He's 2 now, nearly 3.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's not too bad, and he's got his younger sister around the corner, but she's a lot bigger than him. So she might sort of jump on me when we're least expecting it.
Where are you at the moment?
I'm on the East Coast in Norfolk, currently residing, about 2 miles from the beach.
Congratulations on the great new single, Strange Weather, which is from your new album, Basement Sparks. Straight away, the chorus was like etched into my head. Verse is like pure Tom Petty, in my opinion. Then it launches into one of your great Wannadies choruses. I don't know if they're comparisons that always crop up with your songs.
They don't, and they're 2 really nice ones, actually, Rob. Thanks for that, because, Tom Petty and the Wannadies together, that's some kudos there, man. Thank you, and it's really, really kind of you to say that.
Wannadies are always one of my go-to bands, almost like a band which you can sometimes forget about for a while, then you hear one of their songs and like, holy shit, I love this band.
Yeah, no, agree. The weird thing is they used to rehearse in the same studio that Last Great Dreamers rehearsed in the 90s.
No way.
Yeah, down in Alaska Studios in Waterloo. And occasionally people come up behind me and thought I can't remember the singer's name now, but they used to get us mixed up, probably a bit shorter than him, but because we've got the sort of brown curly hair. And great band, the Wannadies. Are they still playing? Are they still doing stuff?
Again, it's like I say, you perhaps forget about them and then like, oh shit, I maybe need to dive back into them. You'll probably find out they've released about 3 albums since you last listened to them.
Yeah, right. I will check them out. They're great pop tunes and obviously great guitars. They were a really good band, yeah.
Was they spending quite a bit of time in the UK then, do you reckon?
I think they were. They might have done some recording there as well, actually, at the studio, because the Alaska Studios, part recording studio, part rehearsal studio. It might actually have been recording sessions they were doing there, yeah. I can't remember what label they were on at the time, but yeah, I used to see them quite a lot.
Sweet, mate. How's the response been to the new material? As you already had the Skeleton Key single out at the end of last year.
Yeah, that was the first track off the forthcoming album, and it's been really great response so far. Strange Weather, like I say, is out at the moment, and that's had a good response. I'm pretty chuffed at how things have been going, and I think I'm very lucky, really, to be in this position that I didn't expect, a few years ago.
It was only back in 2022 you released the Future Obscure album, and again, you're working with producer Dave Draper. That's 2 power pop masters working together. How did you and Dave first hook up?
Indeed. We're like kids in a sweet shop when we were together. It's brilliant. Yeah, I love working with Dave. And it happened during lockdown, actually. And I was familiar with a lot of the stuff he'd done with Ryan Hamilton and obviously Ginger Wildheart. When we had the Last Great Dreamers hiatus, there was this period of time when nothing was going on. It was really difficult. I'd had some personal issues and sort of ill health at the time, and got in touch with Dave and just to sort of touch base with him. And he turned out that he had some time, and we kind of got it together pretty quickly after that when things kind of fell into place. And yeah, I haven't looked back really. And we've done the second album now. I'm actually back in with him again next week, starting on some more stuff.
Mate, unstoppable. Was the last album and this new album, I guess they've done it at his new studio, right?
Yeah, down near Evesham, yes. Down at the old Cider Press. I love going there. It's completely out in the middle of nowhere, and great little cafe next door as well. So we always take a few tea breaks there.
I've been to the studio before he actually set up. His old place used to be just up the road from there. So we did the last Ryan Hamilton album, and then he's like, oh, you got time for a coffee or something? I'll take you to where the new studio is going to be. So he took us there before he'd even moved in. So I'd love to see what it's like now in there. I'm missing the Dave Draper knee grabs.
He grabs my ankles is what he tends to grab with me. And so hangs me upside down and says, no, that's not it. Come on, better.
Dave is like really fast at coming up with parts.
So quick, man. It's just incredible. His brain is just like, it's just on another level, really. And I don't know what download he's had, but it's amazing. And I love it because it happens quickly, and usually it's quite spontaneous, and it's usually brilliant.
Do you go in with like full band, or is it just you initially, or how do you normally work it?
Kind of bits and bobs, really. A lot of the stuff I demo at home, and then we almost re-record a lot of it. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it, really. It's great though. It's really, like I said, very fast. I love it that way. And if I could spend more time with Dave, I would.
It's really good with like those like melodic guitar lines. Does he come up with many of them for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, he'll improve on what I do because, when I play something, it's literally like a wasp in a crisp packet, sort of struggling to get out. And he'll sort of fine tune that. And yeah, great melodies together. Yeah. And obviously it's great to be messing around with the synths and stuff as well, which, I just love all that stuff.
It's being released on Little Steven's Wicked Cool Records label. How did that relationship begin?
Yeah, probably partly was due to Dave, and I think Little Steven's Underground Garage, the radio station, been played a few times on there. Rodney Bingenheimer and Palmera Delran, and they sort of picked up on my stuff, kept playing it, and so I had a call one day from Wicked Cool, and they just said, your next record, can we hear it first? That's kind of how it happened, really. Yeah, it was all pretty quick. The timing was just, unexpected, and really grateful of that. All the years of banging your head against the wall with going down avenues that just dead ends, and this came out of nowhere, literally, and was so refreshing and really humbling, actually. So yeah, I'm really, really happy to be part of the family.
Sometimes you can be chasing for years, and then just let the universe do its own thing.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to have the saying, ignorance is bliss. Once that time you kind of stop worrying about stuff, that's when things started to happen.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? I mean, it's so true. Obviously, it doesn't always happen like that with other stuff, but, I'm just really grateful having this opportunity to get the songs out there and through a label, and obviously getting, the recognition for that. And I think perhaps people take more time to listen as well, I think, being on the label, which is great. I'm just really, really lucky to be here right now.
Being on that label, it opened you up to the whole underground garage radio station. Have you had much feedback from US listeners, or maybe even like other artists on the label?
Yeah, we've had some great response from the States. I think they probably, not quite as cynical as, out in the States. And they've got a little bit more, just a bit more open-minded about, hearing good songs. If they hear a song, they like it, they're going to listen to it, and they're going to perhaps research it and stuff, and not have the bias. They probably didn't know much about me before, I was released out there. Yeah, it's been a really good response. I'm doing some shows in March on the East Coast, and quite a few bands I'm playing with. So it's going to be really good to be out there.
If someone like really falls in love with your new music, they've got quite a back catalogue to dive back into if they want some more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, indeed. Yeah, there's a catalogue there, and there's hopefully some heritage that, will sort of interest people, and hopefully they'll get quite a lot out of it, The very first record that I put out was Last Great Dreamers' debut album. It's actually 1994, so it's actually 30 years. Yeah, 30 years this year since my first record came out.
Nuts, man. I think you've even got like a Marc Valentine Spotify playlist. I don't know who's done that, but it's got your entire catalogue on there.
Oh, is it? Oh, gosh. Good luck if you get to the end of it.
Like you mentioned, you're heading over to the east coast of the USA at the end of March for some shows. That's got to be exciting. Are you taking a full band out there, or just playing with musicians in the States?
Yeah, there'll be a band with me. I hope. And If not, I'll be there on my own. But yeah, that's the plan. And
It'll be fine.
yeah, it's going to be great. I think we're doing a few shows with Palmero Del Ron, doing a show with Steve Conte as well.
Oh, mate, brilliant.
Yeah, Jelly Bricks, the Nervous Eaters, a few label mates as well. It's going to be great. Yeah, so New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, I think. There's about 5 shows. And hopefully we'll be in the studio with Jeff Sonoff. He's done the Fountains of Wayne, and which is going to be cool.
Have you got any song ideas ready to go? Or?
Yeah, already, man. Already, yeah. Got 8 albums ready to go. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Got them all lined up.
You're all
Come on, let's do this. Is there anywhere in particular you're looking forward to playing?
To be in New York is going to be pretty cool. It's Jesse Malin's Berlin Under 8 Club, so that's going to be special, I think, yeah. And it's a label night, so there's 4 of the bands on. Wicked cool. It's going to be a real blast, I think.
Is New York somewhere you've been before?
I've not been East Coast. I used to live on the West Coast.
That's right, yeah.
So, yeah, this is going to be a first, which is going to be really cool. Hopefully West Coast maybe next year, we'll see.
Was you actually living out there in like the mid-2000s after the Dreamers broke up?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we split up in the late 90s, and my wife's from California, and I met her about 99. We got married, and I ended up 5-6 years lived out there.
How was that? Was that a culture shock?
It was for her more than me, I think, because I'd never been to LA either at that point, and it was the first time there. And yeah, it was great. Made some, so many wonderful people there, and my kids went to school there, my youngest kids, and amazing time. Yeah, met some great people. I did start a project out there, never quite got off the ground. Wish I'd pursued that a little bit more, a musical project. I was still songwriting, but I wasn't really active as such. Early 2000s, 2 young kids, and didn't see the time to do it. But yeah, I guess I'm making up for it now a bit.
Yeah, I mean, did you get to go to any of like the legendary clubs being at in LA or anything? I mean, because that's kind of a weird time around the early 2000s, especially for hard rock and a lot of the bands we used to listen to.
Oh, definitely. But to be honest, you'd walk down Sunset and you'd see Tommy Lee. It was literally like nothing had changed.
A little bit quieter, but they were still around.
A bit quieter, but they still got that element. And it's really cool, and I saw some great bands there. I've been to the Roxy, all the kind of venues out there, Lock Time Silver Lake as well. Saw the Buzzcocks out there. There's quite a few English bands. Ian Hunter. There was a band called 1990s. I don't know if you remember them. Scottish band came out there at the time. Sahara Hot Nights. There were some really good guitar bands at the time. And yeah, I was really lucky to be there then. I think that was quite a big influence on me where I am now, for sure.
Even though you wasn't doing music as much, you were perhaps soaking in some influences. And
oh, for sure, yeah. It's incredible, yeah. Well, actually, Strange Weather is kind of inspired from some of my road trips out there in the desert,
Oh, wow. Where did you go and see? Because, I mean, obviously in LA, people who don't know the geography, what is it? Is it like 6 hours away from Las Vegas?
Yeah, we used to drive there quite a lot. Yeah, 6-hour drive. Sometimes go to Palm Springs. And the sort of desert there is quite so different. And it was, very inspirational at the time.
Go into any like ghost towns or anything around there?
Yeah, there's a couple of ghost towns that we kind of skirted around, but I was mainly looking for UFOs.
Did I read that's something that's always fascinated you, the whole UFO thing?
Yeah, for sure, since I was a kid, and obviously growing up in the 70s with the movies that were at the time as well. And Dad was a big UFO freak as well. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's always been there.
What's your take on it?
I think it's probably a combination of several things, actually. So different dimensions, possibly visitors, possibly time slips, who knows? And, of course, our own technology as well.
Yeah.
I think there's, pardon the pun, but it's a whole other universe of different things,
What did you make of those military videos that were released a couple of years ago with the pilots tracking things? That was nuts.
Yes, with the Tic Tacs and everything. Yeah, it's kind of, really weird because those things are so fast. That's not AI, that's actual footage, whatever it is, it's definitely footage.
See, this is when you and Ginger Wildart should collaborate on a UFO Inspired album.
Oh, that's a good idea, man. Dave at the controls, that'd be great.
It'd be awesome. I'll set that seed for you.
Yeah, please, I'm ready. I'm just going to start writing now, hang on.
Man, getting the chance to live out in America, obviously a world away from where you are now. And is Norfolk where you grew up as well?
Yeah, I was born in Norwich, Rob, a long time ago, and kind of the family are here. I moved to London when I was 18 to get in a band. I started Silver Hearts, I think, in 89, who became Last Great Dreamers. Lived in London for about 15, 20 years. Kind of moved to the South Coast for a while. Then I ended up in LA. Then we had to come back at the time of the property crash, and my mum wasn't well at the time. So we ended up back here, full circle. And a lot of people do. At the time, it was really difficult. Yeah, I wasn't happy with the situation, but, kind of grown into it, and it's developed and it's evolved. And yeah, I couldn't be happier right now. So it's really cool.
I'm presuming like music's always played a major role and surrounded you from a young age. But am I right? Your dad used to play bass in a band called the Offbeats.
He did. Wow. You haven't seen them, have you? They were still going up to about 3 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, they're called the Offbeats. And I believe the legend has it that my dad had the first electric bass in Norwich. And he'd actually made it So all the bands used to borrow it, but I believe it was filled with concrete or something. So it's kind of this really weird thing. Yeah, there's a heritage there for sure from my dad passed on. And he quit the music, become a journalist, and they reformed in the early 90s, the band, the original members. And yeah, they did tons and tons of gigs around here up to about 5-6 years ago, yeah.
Do you remember any early gigs where you go and see him play?
I didn't. When he'd left the band, it was probably just before I was born. So very first band I saw with my dad would have been Shawani Wadi. So that's my first memory of a band, ever. So about 74 probably that was, I guess. That was at the Norwich Theatre Royal. Yeah, my dad still picks up the bass now and then. When Last Great Dreamers reformed, me and Slider got together here. This is after our extremely long 17-year hiatus. Slider came here and we sort of had a little jam. And there was a knock on the window. We looked out the window. My dad was there with his Trace Elliott in a wheelbarrow. And he said, "Can I come and join him?" It was brilliant. So yeah, good memories.
You ever recorded with your dad?
I did. My dad was in a band with me. We were called Dead Turkey. This was about 1982, maybe. We just recorded home demos. It was my dad on guitar. I was on vocals. We had a synth bass and a drum machine. It was mad, yeah, absolutely mad.
Do those recordings still survive on a cassette tape somewhere?
They're somewhere. I'm going to dig them out, Rob, yeah?
Oh, wicked, man.
Yeah, Dead Turkey.
Dead Turkey on Spotify sometime soon.
Yeah.
Remastered by Dave Draper.
They're on something now, yeah.
Did your dad encourage you to play in a band, or did he warn you away from it?
I think it was a bit of both, to be honest. Yeah, he knew the pitfalls and, the years and years that you could be searching, and getting nowhere with it. But yeah, my mum and my dad always backed me, even though perhaps it seemed that they didn't, but they certainly did.
What did they think when you said you wanted to make the jump to London?
Yeah, they weren't keen at the time, because I did it with a guitarist who I was in a band with up here, who they weren't too keen on. So they said, yeah, this is going to be the ruin. You're going to be ruined, yeah. Going down to that there, London.
How did you get down? Did you go on the bus? Can you remember?
I think my dad actually drove me.
Had you played there before or anything like that?
No, man. I sort of applied for a job in the newspaper, as you did then. Got an interview, got a job and moved down there. It was a good time, London, in the late 80s, still amazing city to be in, it really was.
Was you in a band called Guns for Hire?
That was the band I had up here, yeah, that we kind of was. I don't know where you found that research. Well, it's brilliant, yeah. We did a few shows. We played with the Fall, I think, that's what we did in Norwich. That was sort of as far as we got. We split up. Everybody went to uni and stuff like that. I thought, well, I'll go to London. And at the time, I was really into sort of Hanoi Rocks. That was kind of the thing that pushed me to get down to the city, and the Choir Boys were just at the start of that. So it was an exciting time for music.
That whole hard rock sleaze scene, I say it must have been really vibrant in London, but I guess all around the country as well.
I think you're right. Yeah, Nottingham obviously was a big city for it as well, and Cardiff, all the cities. Yeah, when we used to get out and start gigging, you just see it happening everywhere. It was quite brief because grunge came in very quickly after that. Once we'd got on the road and done stuff like that, 2-3 years was the next thing was happening, and which was grunge, of course, which kind of killed all that glam side of things off a bit. All the bands, I think, tried to move with it, and it's kind of, you always felt like you're one step behind, and it's sometimes best just to stick with your guns, pardon the pun. But music was rapidly changing, was at the time. We had grunge and we had Britpop, and so many things were going on. The big melting pot of everything now.
It is, yeah. I find it interesting, though, that whilst a lot of people consider the scene dying around 91, 92, that was the time you became Last Great Dreamers, and you still managed to create a great buzz and do well, whilst a lot of the other bands suddenly fell off the radar. Yeah, I guess I never really thought of it that way, Rob. But yeah, I think we did because we kind of reinvented ourselves. We changed our name. We actually glammed up the image, actually, the other way. We went very retro, and it was kind of against the grunge scene at the time. And I think that's probably what got us noticed. Certainly Kerrang, they took us on board. It was really, really sweet of them, and they really did, they championed us incredibly well. You'll probably say this is an obvious thing, but was you tapping into bands like Jellyfish?
Yeah.
I guess the Black Crowes as well. They were kind of, people from the hard rock scene liked them, but they were a very different band.
Exactly. Yeah, they were totally vintage, Black Crowes. And yeah, I loved Jellyfish at the time, and a band called Red Cross. You probably know Red Cross as well. Probably one of my, favourite bands of all time, Red Cross. And Jellyfish I loved. I saw them at the Astoria, and it was just, wow. It was one of my favourite gigs of all time, yeah. And yeah, there was something else going on at that time, for sure. And we were trying to, obviously, be part of that. We got the record deal with Bleeding Hearts Records, and they saw the vintage thing. We probably were a bit too over the top with our image when we look back at it. It was essential what we did, but of course some people thought, Enemy, stuff like Melody Maker, they just thought we were a bunch of jokers, But it was the brilliant times, yeah, and really, really, really good. I think it could have, if the record had got to Japan, which it was talk of it, but the label didn't want to sort of invest more money. I think if we'd made that step, it probably would have gone a little bit further.
Kerrang really embraced the band. Did you have any particularly good contacts or writers at that magazine who you got to know really well? well?
Yeah, we knew a few. Luckily, it was Jeff Barton, the editor-in-chief, who loved us. So obviously when you got the guy at the top of the tree, that was really, I think, the big break. And yeah, we did some great stuff there. And the Kerrang Awards, of course, we did. We got nominated for Best New Band. We knew we weren't going to win. So we actually went to a charity shop before and bought this golf trophy. So we took that with us so we could just, prance around and say, oh, we've won. And it was actually a golf trophy. But I think Skunk and Nancy won that award. I think it was Brian May might have done the award. It was just incredible, just how many people were there, it was just amazing times.
You mentioned like the golf trophy there. I spoke to Slider a while ago. Did he say you guys used to like travel around with like a bag of props?
Oh, yes. It was called the monkey sack.
All right, okay.
So I had to, unfortunately, it's lasted up to about 6 months ago. I found it in my shed, but some rats had been nesting in it. So all the wigs have basically been chewed up by the rats, got rat urine, feces. I did have to sacrifice it, but for many years, we couldn't go on tour without it. It had the wigs in it. It had all kinds of weird props, gloves, and false noses and stuff. And it was kind of, when you're on the long drive back from Cardiff, everybody's off their heads. What do we do? Get in the back of the van, get the sack out, everybody dress up in stupid stuff.
So just in the van?
Just in the van, yeah. So there's this big pile up in the back of the van. The driver's trying to concentrate and we've got all these mad wigs and shit going on.
Oh.
It was, we were kids having a good time,
So when you were pulling that bag of like rat infested stuff, all these memories, I guess, were coming back.
Yeah, it was all there. I could just, all the events, yeah. But unfortunately, I had to go. It's a real shame. We have started a new one though. So I've done a couple of videos recently where I've had to buy a few odd things and I'm sort of building up a new one.
It's all cosplay now though, mate. It's all like high-end stuff, isn't it?
It's high-end, yeah. So it's a bit out of my league, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's not going to be quite the same, of course, especially when it's a bloke the years that I'm getting to now. But I'll probably be doing it when I'm 70.
You're taking it to America with you. Take the monkey sack to America. Going through customs. What's in here, sir?
Yeah. Oh, it's just my worker's rubber glove, like I use for dressing up. Yeah, the glove, I think, was the favourite thing. There was an old workman's glove. It might have been an old plumber's glove. It was like a dark burgundy sort of rubber, but that old 70s rubber, But it had like a furry cuff. It was a weird thing, but that was the favourite.
You, well, perhaps not memories of the monkey sack, but you captured a lot of memories of that whole kind of London scene in your song and video for Mornington Crescent. Was that the aim of that song, or was you reflecting on other things too?
Yes, yeah. Mornington Avenue, yeah.
Sorry, Mornington Avenue, yeah.
Yeah, Crescent just didn't flow right when I tried to sing it, so I had to change it. That was the poetic license there. But yeah, because we started in Mornington Crescent. That's where I lived at the time when the band formed in Camden. And yeah, drawn from those memories of the time, it was a special time, as it is for every band, who makes that big move to a new city and starts something that they just don't know what lays ahead of them, Was it interesting filming the video around there, like in modern day? It was crazy, yeah. It was our good friend Darren Stockford filmed it. He's a great editor. He does a lot of filming and stuff. And yeah, I think he captured a lot of the essence of things that are the same, things that have changed, It's different to how it was, but it's still kind of a place that people want to go and pick up that sort of, you feel the vibe of obviously the history that it has.
Absolutely. So last question, Mark.
Yeah.
I want you to time travel a little to a Friday night in the late 80s or early 90s, and you're heading to the video store.
Yeah, I like doing that.
I don't know if you had a regular video store in Norfolk or London, or even when you was out in America.
Yeah, we did. Every city had one, yeah, and they were really important. They were the places you needed to go, you had to. That was the escapism route, that was the door to something new, yeah.
Absolutely. So what movie soundtrack would you have on your Walkman, and what 3 tapes are you going to rent for the weekend?
All right, well, I'm probably going to go for Little Mermaid. No, I played that one yesterday. So no, there's a great soundtrack. The film I haven't seen for many years, Times Square. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't, no.
It might be late 70s, early 80s. I haven't seen it for years. It's about 2 runaways who escaped to New York and start up a band. Tim Curry's in it. And it's just a great soundtrack. You've got The Ruts, The Pretenders, Suzi Quatro, Roxy Music, Gary Newman. It's a really good soundtrack. So I think I'll probably stick that one on if that's all right.
So what's the film like? Because if that's around that time, that must show New York in a really cool time period.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it probably for 20 years. So it just came to me when we were, thinking about this earlier. And I'd really like to see it again. I don't know if it's on VHS. It probably is somewhere, but it's never been on Netflix, I don't think, or anything like that.
It's one of those lost films then.
Yeah, I think it's a Stigwood production, though, I think. I might be wrong, but yeah, Times Square. If you find it, I'll come up and watch it with you.
So what films you going to go for? 3 films?
Oh, well, based on my single Strange Weather, talking about my road trips and stuff, I think I'm going to go with Critters for one. Not seen for years. Do you like it?
I love Critters, but I did revisit it a few years ago.
Okay.
Nothing happens for about 40 minutes. It's a real slow burn.
Yeah, it's on the farm and stuff, I think.
All about the character building, I think.
The character building, yeah. I know they say it's sort of, low budget Gremlins, but I remember that it was a film that at the time, I just loved the creatures. I always loved the creatures and stuff. And the two guys, the bounty hunters. So I'm going to choose that because I've not seen it for years. So if you've got it, Rob, I'm coming up to yours tonight to watch it.
I did have it. I'm looking, mate. Hang on a second. Let's have
All
a
right.
look. Hang on.
I can't wait till Friday.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yay! That's it. Right, I'll be around about 7. Is that all right?
Yeah. Like anybody can, they can pull like a nearly 40-year-old film out on VHS.
Brilliant.
Just like that.
That's incredible. I'm really impressed. That's incredible. Well, you're definitely going to have the next one that I'm going to choose. John Carpenter film. Again, I've not seen this for bloody years. Christine.
My wife's favourite. She loves that film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Yeah, again, incredible film. It left a big impression on me at the time. I just love the storyline and how it gets darker and darker, and it's just great. I'd like to see that again. I haven't seen that for many years.
Another great soundtrack as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't choose that one, did I? But yeah, good soundtrack, yeah.
Are you into classic cars? Because I think you all used to drive classic cars in the Dreamers days, right?
Well, they weren't American cars. They were kind of, English and Japanese. But yeah, we had, Slide had a Cortina, the 70s, and I had the Toyota Celica, 70s.
Oh, mint. What happened to them? Did you have to scrap them eventually? Or did you sell them on?
I sold mine on to actually a guy down in Hastings, a musician from Sundial. Do you remember Sundial? I don't know if he still got it. That's years ago. But I'm not sure what happened to Sliders one. Yeah, we had to sell them on at the time. We just couldn't. We were too poor to maintain them because the parts were so expensive. Again, brilliant times. Yeah, we still love having the cars. Yeah.
Superb. One more film, mate. What's your last one?
Right. I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to go for Legend, Tom Cruise.
Another Tim Curry again.
Tim Curry, I just wish I knew him, Tim Curry, at the time. But yeah, I love Tim Curry, and he's the camp and scary Lord of Darkness in that.
Talk about incredible makeup.
Oh, because you wouldn't know it was him. It's actually incredible. And it's a beautifully shot film, and Ridley Scott. And, if you've got unicorns, you've got gnomes, you've got goblins, and Tim Curry. I mean, man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Did you see any of these films at the cinema, or would they all have been on video?
I saw Legend at the cinema, I'm pretty sure. I did. Don't recall the year. It might have been about 86, was it? Maybe 85. I can't remember.
Oh, wow. So this was before you moved to London?
Yeah. It would have been probably the last film I saw before I went to London, possibly, yeah. Could well be, yeah.
What was your old cinema back then?
It's still going. It's still here in a town called Cromer, a little seaside town up on the East Coast. It's sort of in between. It's further up than Yarmouth. It's near the town called Sheringham. They've still got a little cinema there. It's been there since the 50s, actually, I think.
Oh, man.
And in the video of Skeleton Key, we go into that cinema.
I was going to ask what cinema you use. Oh, amazing, mate. That's cool.
Yeah, and that is the same cinema, and it's called, is it Movie Flex? Can't remember what it's called now.
Oh, wow.
Small chain. They have a few in Cornwall, I think. But it's exactly the same, tiny little rooms, and really, really small, but it's great.
Oh, that's incredible that you got to use your old cinema for that video, mate. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was really funny. They said, yeah, come in, man. And it was really great. Frankenstein's here. It was great.
So what's the record shop which is in that video as well? Is that another local record shop to you?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's my own shop. Yeah.
Your own shop?
My shop, yeah. That's kind of where I sort of hang out during the week when I'm not on the road and stuff.
Oh, sweet, man. How long have you been doing that?
Just about a year now. We've been there about a year.
How's it going? Is it working out all right? I mean, it's tough times for any, independent shop these days.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did it with my friend, and she's not there any longer before she became ill, but I've taken it on myself, and she's okay, but something I've had to sort of take on myself.
And what's the shop called, if anyone's in the area?
If anyone's in the area, it's called Another Planet. We're vinyl, CDs. We have a few vintage things there, with vintage posters and cameras and stuff like that. It's got a nice vibe about it, so it's not your regular record shop.
Oh, mate, nice one. If next time I'm out on the East Coast, I'll have to swing by.
Bring critters with you if I haven't been up to you, right?
It's a date, mate. We'll have a VHS movie night. That'll be fantastic.
Yes, lovely.
Mark, thank you for chatting with me, mate. It's been great to see you after all these years.
It's lovely. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm stoked that the music's going so well. I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time in America.
Oh, thanks, Rob. Yeah, really looking forward to it. And yeah, like I say, thanks for all your support. And hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, we need to do some gigs together.
Oh, please. Yes, definitely. All right. Yeah, I'm on.
And yeah, get that Ginger Wilder UFO album sorted.
It's going to be fantastic, man. You're going to come play with us, though?
I'll do that for you, yeah.
Please. Let's do it, man. Right, I'm going to be in touch tonight.
Sweet. You enjoy the rest of your day, Mark.
Thanks, Rob. Love you, man.
All right, mate. Love you too. Take it easy, Mark.
Have a good day.
thanks so much to Marc Valentine for joining me on today's show. Really cool to check in with him after such a long time and to see how great everything is going. The new album Basement Sparks is out on the 22nd of March through Wicked Cool Records, and there are live dates in the UK and the US to coincide. There's also a special live show in London at Water Rats on Thursday the 4th of April with tickets on sale now, and the brand new single Tyrannical Rex is out today with all info to be found at marcvalentine.co.uk. Tomorrow night, Saturday, the 2nd of March, sees the premiere of the new film One Night Rental, which was shot in and around our 80s video shop in Alverton, Derbyshire. If you're fast, you can hopefully snap up some of the remaining tickets for the screening at the Quad in Derby. Head on over to www.80svideoshop.co.uk and click the merch button. But if you miss out, you can pre-order the DVD, and we're planning some extra screenings at the shop over the coming weeks. It's going to be fun and can't wait for everyone to see it. So that's all for this week's podcast, but I'll be back next Friday for a brand new episode. So until then, make sure to always be kind, please rewind and unwind, and I'll speak to you all real soon.